Thanks for tuning in to Jam Happy Hour, benefiting Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. I'm Michelle, the M in Jam Cellars, that with my husband John, we started a decade ago. Live music has always been part of our DNA, and it feels great to host you with our easy-to-love wines while also helping musicians in need. Sweet Relief is a non-profit fund that provides financial assistance for career musicians and industry workers who are struggling to make ends meet. Over the past year, we've surpassed our goal of raising $25,000 for the fund. And with your help, over the next 12 months, Jam Cellars is committed to raising another $25,000 for Sweet Relief. Simply listen in, comment, share, or like, and Jam Cellars will donate $1 up to $2,500 per show if you do. Plus, you can click or text to donate directly to Sweet Relief. So pour yourself a glass of butter Chardonnay and get ready to enjoy some new music. Cheers.
Cheers indeed. Welcome into the Jam Happy Hour benefiting Sweet Relief. I'm Jana. I am so excited to jump in here with you tonight for an hour of music and conversation and just kind of get to know each other a little bit better with the amazing talent that is Baker Grace, who is joining us today. We're East Coast girls today together. So thank you and a happy hour to you.
You too. Thank you for having me.
What a beautiful setup you've got there. I'm thinking music's probably in your blood.
Yes. Well, it goes like a long way back, honestly, on both sides of my family. There's so much music, but my dad was a singer-songwriter and always had bands growing up. So that's where like I was first introduced to music.
Very cool. And we'll definitely dive more into that as the hour rolls on. And then we're going to play some music. What I love about these happy hours is that, sometimes it's the jam fans just jumping on for an hour to sip their favorite wine and hang out and get to know a new artist. And there's also your fans who are maybe getting to know us for the first time. So this is where we just kind of like to hang out. And the fact that it is a charity relief for Sweet Relief, which I think is a super cool fund, helping musicians and artists and people in the industry when they need it most, that we can just have a really fun hour enjoying music and getting to know you a little bit better. So thank you for taking the time and joining us, Baker. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. I'm happy to be here.
I think growing up in a musical household is probably one of the coolest things. Like, I didn't grow up in a musician's household. I mean, I grew up in a house that loved music. My mom used to have like these massive wall-size radios on and always playing Motown or playing classic rock. Or I know you said that you grew up in a musical household, but what was some of those early influences that you can remember hearing all throughout the house? I mean, outside of your own family.
I spent a lot of time with my family growing up, like almost all the time, but we really listened to everything, like everything from Queen to the Beatles, then like soul music, like I loved like Whitney Houston and Aretha Franklin and like Marvin Gaye. Like it was really eclectic. Like I feel like I got like a whole wide range of music.
Like a full-on musical education.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
And you didn't even mean to.
No, I always like think like my brain must be taken up by by songs and song lyrics. At least 60% of my brain, honestly.
I think it's probably more than that because, once you hear a song, or at least for me, maybe, you're the same way. Like when those lyrics like have a place in your brain, they're forever in there. So you'll hear a song, 10 years after the first time you've heard it and you're singing along right away. And like, I think I would love to see what the part of our brain that holds song lyrics looks like, because I'm thinking it's a very impressive place.
Yeah. No, and also just goes to show how powerful music is too. Like if it can ingrain something so much in us that we won't forget it for 100 years.
I know people like to learn with lyrics and learn with music and teach themselves things that way. So I have to think that's a big part of it. If somebody is maybe getting to know Baker Grace for the first time, and I hate this question, but it's always like one of those, off the bat questions, like, how would you describe your sound to someone who's maybe never experienced you before?
I like to talk about big issues, I guess, but in conversational ways. I think I deal with a lot of like existential ideas and thoughts.
Yeah.
And music is my way to kind of sit with those thoughts and have a conversation with myself or with someone else and make sense of them in a way that eases my mind. And it's kind of like just finding the silver lining in every problem that I have in my life. Whenever I find that silver lining or that, like, you know, awakening moment, there's always a song that comes with it.
How cool.
So I think that's where a lot of my music stems from.
Finding the silver lining in almost any situation is probably it's a muscle that we all need to probably work on a little bit more, especially in certain times. So if you're okay with it, maybe we just kind of jump right in on a song right away, and that way we can kind of get an introduction into the sound and the story that is Baker Grace.
Yeah, so I'll just talk a little bit about it. I wrote this song like when I was 18. I'm 22 now, so a while ago. And it's called Wrong Kind of People. I was signed to a label at 16 years old, and so I was really forced to either speak my mind or get pushed over at a very young age. And this song is a letter to myself to stay true to myself and, you know, trust my own instincts over what other people are telling me to do. And
Very good lesson. And a hard one to learn at 16, 18, any of it.
I think I'm still learning it, which is why it's still relevant. So
It's a good point. Baker Grace, take it away.
wish that I could trust my own eyes. Should I need someone to tell me I'm alright? Everything looks good from outside. Come a little closer, that's when we all find how many friends do we really have? If they're never there when it all goes bad, they ain't gonna care, they ain't gonna last. I could waste away my whole life always looking for the wrong kind of people to show me the way. Always searching for somebody to tell me I'm doing okay. Getting wasted on the high of their ego. Think it's time I start to take care of me though. I was looking for the wrong kind of people to show me the way. Well, everybody makes those mistakes. Looking in the mirror can be so cruel these days. Sucks we had to learn the hard way. But good to know the worst in you and I can all change. How many friends do we really have? If they're never there when it all goes bad, they ain't gonna care, they ain't gonna last. I could waste away my whole life always looking for the wrong kind of people to show me the way. Always searching for somebody to tell me I'm doing okay. Oh, getting wasted on the high of their ego. Think it's time I start to take care of me though. I was looking for the wrong kind of people to show me the way. Oh, I lost my mind trying to always be right, but I went the wrong way. Oh, I lost my mind 'cause I kept losing sight that we're all just the same. Always looking for the wrong kind of people to show me the way. Always searching for somebody to tell me I'm doing okay. Oh, getting wasted on the high of their ego. Think it's time I start to take care of me though. I was looking for the wrong kind of people to show me the way. To show me the way. Oh, oh, oh.
Baker Grace, that is so fantastic. Thank you. Here in the Sweet Relief Musician Funds with Jam Happy Hour. Okay, now I get it. You say that your songs kind of start like a story, and you very much pull people into that story. Like in your song, is it something that you kind of set out to do? Like, I'm feeling this kind of way here. I want to feel like this with you, or is it just like I'm gonna write this, and then maybe you'll feel the same way too?
It's so natural to me. So I normally don't have an intention when I go to write a song. I'll be feeling a certain way and I'll be aware. Like, I love to just have deep conversations when I'm in sessions before we start writing, because normally an idea just pops up. But I really just go to the piano or guitar or whatever, and whatever comes out, comes out. That's really where I find the truth. I can't lie to myself in a song. I can never like tell a lie in a song, and I think,
Oh, that's dangerous.
yeah. No, it is, because it makes me so extremely self-aware, but also because I can't hide my feelings to myself. Like, sometimes I'll avoid the piano or writing for days when I don't want to admit something, you know?
Like something's bubbling under the surface, and you're like, ah.
I see a piano and I'm just like, it's not there.
Oh my god! Well, if you guys, if you're watching along, you can go into your phone and you find a piano emoji. Like, pop it up in the comments right now, because for every comment and like and share, we get to donate $1 to the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund, and we like to have some fun with it. So you'd also mentioned like guitar, piano. Like, you're multi-instrumental. So I mean, when you start to think about a song, which do you kind of gravitate towards first?
Whatever's closest, honestly.
I love that. You're like, here's a bongo. I'm going to start here.
Yeah, honestly, because I get really stuck in these like ideas, so I'm like, it needs to happen now. It's now or never kind of thing. Yeah.
You're in a dangerous room for that thought then, because you have plenty of options right behind you.
Yeah. This one's closest, so
I think music education is so important these days. I mean, obviously you grew up with music education in your home, but you actually went on to study it even more so, didn't you?
I did an online course in music production, which was really cool. But a lot of my studying was just real life. Like, after high school, I had my record deal, so I just ran with that for a while and was put into sessions all across the U.S. and in Europe, and just learned by watching and doing, which is kind of the best way I learn anyway.
Trial by fire.
Yeah.
I love that you took the production course though, because I mean, as a lifelong music fan, not able to make my own music, just a big fan of it. It was honestly, it was the production of what people can do with voice and music that kind of hooked me. So it was like seeing what you could do with the Pro Tools, or seeing how, you know, a song is mastered and mixed and stuff like that. That's where my interest was really piqued in, like, oh my gosh, like you can do so many things with such, you know, either, you know, a simple sound or, you know, a beautiful song. It can be taken in so many different directions, and that's driven by the producer. So the fact that, you know, you're like, no, I know what you're doing, and I know what's going on, and I can do it myself. I think that is so empowering.
Yeah, just like knowing how to do it. It doesn't even necessarily mean you have to do it yourself all the time, but I don't know, I feel like sometimes in this industry, even in the marketing side, the business side, like people really like to shelter artists and be like, no, just write. You don't have to do anything, like just do your music. But then it's like you can get taken advantage of. So in every aspect of the industry, like you need to know how it works, so you know when someone's like not putting the love and care into it that they should be, you know?
Or for maybe, you know, their own reasons versus what's best for you.
Yeah.
Well, you've picked up a lot. jumping in, right after high school. You've been doing this, 5, 6 years now, like consistently. What would you tell your 16-year-old Baker Grace that you know now that you wish you would have known then?
Just focus on the music. Like, I wish I would have told myself that. And everything else doesn't matter as much as, And I think I knew that, that's what the sad thing is I knew that at 14, I knew that at 15, but somewhere like 16 to 20, it just kind of
all these new
lost
influences
that.
are coming in, all this new energy is coming in, and how would you know?
Yeah, it's just, I think you kind of have to lose yourself to find yourself,
Very well said. And people definitely like to lose themselves in your music. And I think that's kind of the fun part of music and storytelling, that, once you create this song and once you've put it out into the world, it kind of becomes whatever it's going to be for whoever's hearing it. How does that sit well with you, knowing that this little musical baby is off doing things that you never even imagined it could do?
Like when I get comments saying that my music touches people or they're listening to it and it made them feel better, or even if it's like feel anything, it's because sometimes you want to feel sad.
Totally. Yes.
But it means the world to me. I'm not attached to my music at all. Like once I write it, I don't really consider it mine anymore. It's for yours to have and do whatever you want with. So yeah, I mean, I think that's like the purpose of writing music. I never was someone who was very good at connecting to people in person or in conversation. I always kind of felt like an alien. And I think when I do music and when people connect to it, I really feel like understood. And that's rare for me.
It's like an auditory hug.
Exactly.
In a beautiful way. Well, let's pass out some hugs then. I think for everybody that's listening along, if you're enjoying the music, if you're enjoying the hour, or just kind of getting to know Baker a little bit better, please comment and share. It's easy. We'll donate the $1 for you. All you have to do is jump in and enjoy. And if you're feeling a certain kind of way listening to this next song, just pop that emoji up on and how it makes you feel, and that will also donate $1 to the Sweet Relief Fund, which we're thrilled to happy and to support. But Baker, your second song of the evening, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this song is called Be Okay. And it was kind of like when I let go of other people's expectations of myself, like I was talking about in the first song. It forced me to figure out my own expectations of myself. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of harder than other people, because I realized like I had a lot of things I internalized that I didn't like about myself, and this song was about coming to terms with that and just like realizing that nothing was more important than my mental health.
Amen to that.
And if you guys can comment, whoever's here, thank you for being here, by the way, comment every time I say be okay. You can comment a star or a heart emoji, because I say it a lot in this song.
Oh, perfect then.
Raise as much money as possible. Yes.
Beautiful. Baker Grace, thank you. Here's Be Okay.
I just wanna take it slow, just wanna be alone. I wanna take a breath and conquer all of the pain that I can't erase. Oh, I'm about to explode, fight or flight mode. My ancient bones can't harbor the weight of the world, need a steady pace. What do I do when I'm all alone? Do I love myself? Do I hate myself? What do I do when the show is over? Say it over and over. I just wanna be okay, okay. Oh, I just wanna feel no pain, no pain. You could have the body, you could have the throne. Picture perfect life, and everybody knows. I just wanna be okay, be okay, okay. Be okay, be okay, okay. Strip me of my clothes, strip me till I know my weapons are my own devices. No one sees the scars on a pretty face. Strip me down to size, strip me of my eyes. I just wanna see inside once. Try to feel the warmth of my own embrace. What do I do when I'm all alone? Do I love myself? Do I hate myself? What do I do when the show is over? Say it over and over and over. I just wanna be okay, be okay, okay. Oh, I just wanna feel no pain, feel no pain, no pain. You could have the body, you could have the throne. Picture perfect life, and everybody knows. I just wanna be okay, be okay, okay. Be okay, be okay, okay. I just wanna take it slow, just wanna be alone. I wanna take a breath and conquer all of the pain that I can't erase. Ooh.
I love it when a song can kind of like take you out of like where you're at, like mentally. And that song definitely just absolutely like you're listening to the song, and yet I'm thinking about my thoughts and where I'm at. And, you know, you kind of lose yourself in it. And I think that's pretty cool. So be okay. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that you said that. That's so cool because I think that's like that's what I want. Like I want people, you know, mute artists. A lot of times people like idolize artists. I want to be like them, you know. And like for me, I'm like with my music, I'm like I want you to be like you. I want my music to make you want to be more like yourself, you know.
That is such a beautiful thing to say, Baker. And I mean, I've interviewed a lot of people in a lot of years, and I don't think I've ever heard anybody say it quite like that. And it seems like it doesn't seem like, I mean, it comes across as very, very genuine to be like, I just want you to feel more like yourself listening to you being yourself.
Yeah.
So we're having a moment. You want a hug?
Joel,
Air hugs, air hugs, air hugs. I know you've put out a good amount of music. So if people are just getting to know you for the first time tonight here in the Jam Happy Hour, I absolutely invite you to go back and check out some of her earlier projects, as far back as 2016, 17. Like you've consistently put out music each year. It seems like. Is it something that you just feel compelled to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and I think sometimes like should I have waited, you know? Should I have not put that out? Because I feel like, you know, especially now I feel like I'm writing the best music I've ever written, and it makes you feel like, oh, should I now have showed the other thing? But I think it's kind of cool to watch my own journey and just like capture how I'm feeling, cuz I don't know, you can always do better and you're always going to think, "Oh, I wish I could have done better," you know?
Well, even pre-show, you said, you know, life is short. So it's like if you're feeling a certain way in the moment, I think you should absolutely put that music out there, because you never, like you said, you never know who's going to hear it and where they're going to be at and how it's going to help, you know, them maybe cope with like a certain situation. But even just in your short, I don't mean that in derogatory, like in the last 6 years, the music industry has changed so much. Like,
Yeah.
so much. I've been in the industry I'll date myself, since the late 90s. So, I mean, I've seen everything having to have a plan. I've seen everything, have to have, delivery dates and ship dates and air dates and all the things. But now, as we've seen coming around with streaming, but even more so since the pandemic, since everybody's schedule got completely tossed out the window, that you can take music, you can make a song right now, tonight, after we get off the air here, and you can put it on tomorrow. Do you think that's a good thing? Or do you think that's maybe not a good thing?
I think everything in life has positives and negatives, you know?
You
I
do,
think
don't you? And I
some-
love that about you. You're
no,
so good.
someone told me, I was at a session the other day and someone like put this really well to me. They're like, there's like the worst music in the world being made right now and the best music in the world being made by right now. Like there's so much good music, but there's so much bad music.
They're not
And
wrong.
I think what sucks is it's just like with just like everything in life right now, it's just very overwhelming, I think. And music is like not supposed to be overwhelming, and it's just like there's a lot of content, and so sometimes like people are listening to so many things at once that I don't think they're necessarily really taking the time to appreciate one thing. Me too, like I feel the same way about myself.
Sure.
But I do think that it's really cool that, I mean, music's almost like, I feel like always been this way, but it's a very, like now I can't think of the word, but it's just like free and anybody can do it and there's no limitations anymore. You don't have to be super rich to make music, or you know, it's accepting
even have
of
to be signed.
everybody. Yeah. And that's what's really cool. And like being in the music industry, the best part of it for me is just the people that you meet, because it can be anybody. Like you can be, it's so accepting. So there's just like every kind of person, and that's
True.
really cool.
Very, very true. I was having a conversation with some of my friends at a record label earlier today about how, because music has become so accessible and also so content driven, and you hit that word content, which is, it's so much of what's put out into everybody's aura these days. Like you're getting so much content thrown at you from every angle, an advertising angle, a social angle, a political angle, like content is coming at you, that it's more influential than ever, I think. And I think that's where a place for like you and your music and your positivity and just, trying to share your story. It's like a safe space. Like people can sit in your music and know that, the messaging that's coming through is you're okay, we're going to be okay. Everything happens for a reason. And I think that's so needed in times like this. Like, do you feel like you're kind of like a harbinger of that, or you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to be me?
I mean, I hope I can be, like influence, or in that sense of like encouraging people to be themselves and to not, be swayed a certain way by other people's expectations of who they should be. I think the one thing about social media though is that it's like the pressure to always be posting and like the algorithm and all of that, because I don't like, for me, I deal with depression and anxiety, and so like I'm fragile in some ways. I feel like it makes me really strong, but I'm very, I wouldn't even say fragile, I'd say sensitive, right?
Sure.
Like, and it's not even like other people commenting, it's just that I'm like very empathetic, so I take on other people's like emotions a lot. So when I'm scrolling on Instagram, I get way too like invested. Like it's just it's too much for me.
It's a lot.
And so I don't think like, it sucks that as an artist you feel so much pressure to constantly be on these platforms, because they like aren't necessarily the healthiest for anyone, even if you're not super empathetic or sensitive.
I love how you're choosing your words. You're being very diplomatic to it. I agree. Yeah. I mean, there are some artists out there that are killing it, and they're doing the content, and they're posting at 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. on the right days. And, they've got teams behind them to curate, a certain look and a certain aesthetic and a certain sound, and that's great, that they can do that. And then, I feel like there are those of us that are real and don't and feel the pressure too. But then I think that's what makes you so unique in the fact that you're very open about it, and you can take one look at your Instagram, and obviously you're individuals, and obviously you're into being creative, and you want to connect with your fans and with your music, but it comes across as so authentic that I think that is that intangible that gets lost when you're chasing the algorithm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree. I was just like at a lake and I saw this, like, I looked up to the sky at night and I've never seen, this is like so random, but I've never seen stars like in my life like that were that beautiful. Like they were just everywhere. I guess we got lucky at like a really clear sky. And I just had this like moment of like that gave me so much peace. And it's like sustainable peace. Like that sustained me. Like I can think about that forever and go back to that moment and like it'll give me that sense of peace. And it's like social media is not going to do that. Like nothing I find on my phone is going to do that for me. And it's not to say that there's anything bad about it, social media. It's just you need to have both. It's like
Boundaries.
Yeah,
balance.
boundaries.
Because there's one person that would have seen that same site and taken 30 photos trying to get that picture that was post-worthy, but it would never be because it's never that moment again.
Exactly.
And that's what a song is. A song is a snap. It's a moment. It's a place, where you were and are and sharing. And I think that's why people gravitate to music in such a way, because you can't grab it. Like you can grab it, you can share it, you can listen to the same thing, but everybody's going to hear it differently. It's a unique experience every time.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's really cool like that.
Where was the lake?
It was at my grandparents' cottage, and it's called Honey Harbor, Georgian Bay. Yeah.
It sounds
sounds
perfect.
like a fairy tale land.
My daughter saw her first shooting star not too long ago, and something tells me you could see a lot of shooting stars up at at that lake.
Yeah, I still haven't seen one. That's really cool.
Aw. I was trying to explain it to her, like, and it kind of goes back to music. You have to stop focusing. You have to not try to be this thing or see this thing. You have to just let your mind wander and let your eyes wander, and you'll see it, and it'll be there. And it was just like, yeah, it's kind of like music is the same way too. You can't force it. You can't make it be a certain thing. You can't go write the perfect love song or the perfect this. Like, it's got to be real. And that's definitely the vibe that we get from you and your music. We are hanging out with Baker Grace here in the Jam Happy Hour, and it is the Sweet Relief Night. So if you are enjoying, I saw lots of stars and hearts and cheers in the comments. So every time you guys do that, we get to donate $1 to the fund. So please continue to do so. And if you are a fan of Baker's and you've got a favorite song, I'm just saying, shout out your favorite titles. So for those of us that are getting to know her and her talent a little bit more tonight, we can go and dive in and hear her music a little bit more, even beyond the show tonight. But I would love to jump in on another song. What were you thinking about performing for us next?
Yeah, so this next song is called Lullaby. And it was actually in a movie called Last Survivors. It's on Hulu. I did like the soundtrack for an indie film starring Alicia
cool.
Silverstone from Clueless.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's recent.
Yeah.
That's really recent. Oh, how exciting.
And it's kind of about stepping out into the world, like, again, without these kind of conditions and lies that we told ourselves. And it's like super scary, but also beautiful. Because that's kind of what the character was going through and what I was going through at the time. So,
Great. Thank you. Here's Lullaby.
I can see the stars, but city lights shine brighter every time I go. Welcome to the world where no one sees you for the one you were before. Ready for the battle. Broken, I'm not fragile. Hit into a wall and I climb higher till I fall back on the floor. to me, baby. When you la 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 to me, baby. And it makes me wanna cry like a baby on my own. So sing a la 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 back to me, baby. I know you la 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 just to save me from the devils we're not even facing, far from home. I tell myself a story of forever when I feel out of control. Light myself a candle on the nights I can no longer bear the cold. Oh, ready for the battle. Broken, I'm not fragile. Hit into a wall and I climb higher till I fall back on the floor. It's like a la 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 bye to me, baby. When you la 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 to me, baby. And it makes me wanna cry like a baby on my own. So sing a la 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 bye to me, baby. I know you will lie just to save me from the devils we're not even facing, far from home.
I love that. It's funny. In the comments, Chuck was saying, now I have to go watch the full movie just for the soundtrack, which I think is pretty cool. What was that like to work on, such a project that, I mean, is it something that you want to do more of? Do you want to work on more soundtracks and just like scores of films? Or like, how did that come about?
Yeah, definitely something I would want to do more of. I'd love to like star in a movie and do the soundtrack. That's like a really big dream of mine.
My friend Sophia Carson, she just did that. Her movie just came out today, and she did like the whole soundtrack and everything on that too. So you could totally do that. Put that on your vision board.
Yes, I will. I put it in my goals, my 10-year goals. But yeah, I knew the producer who from a different thing that we did a long time ago, and he thought my voice would fit well for the film. So yeah, it was really great opportunity.
I know, like sometimes you come across musicians that are like really great at like one thing. They're super into like either the songwriting or into the singing or into the performing. But would you consider yourself more of like an all creative?
I would say I'm a songwriter first, and a singer, and a performer. Now I'm gonna start listing all the.
You're gonna do it. I love it.
No, but more than like a producer or an instrumentalist or anything like that. Like, I love writing and singing, and then like performing live. Those are my favorite things.
Speaking of performing live, we were talking again pre-show that you had just had an opportunity to do some touring internationally, which is kind of exciting, especially like in the world that we've been in the last couple of years. Not a lot of people were doing anything internationally. And how was that?
It was honestly one of the best experiences of my life. It was in Mexico, so I got to go to Monterrey, Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Puebla. So I got to see a lot of it, and each place was super special. The people were so kind and welcoming, and the food was amazing. And it was really cool because I felt like I could connect to the audience too, even though they didn't always understand what I was saying. And it's cool to know that music like transcends those boundaries.
The universal language, right?
Yeah.
So on those long hours on tour, what are you listening to? What do you like to hear in your downtime when you're just being a music fan?
get like one song or one album, and I'll listen to it for 2 weeks, and then I'll move on to the next one.
So Fridays are a dangerous day for you then.
Yeah, I just always I find one song and that's me. I fall in love with songs, I think. So I was listening to like the Brandy Carlisle The Story album for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, that's
in
a good one.
Yeah, no, that song is so good too. The Story is such an amazing song. But like when I was in Mexico, you know that song Big Jet Plane? Like, I want to take you for a ride on a big jet plane. I was listening to that all the time because I was always on plane.
On a plane, why not? Yeah. So great.
Yeah.
Well, I know you grew up in a multi-genre home, and I think you can hear kind of in your music that you still, you're still into that. Like you're still into a rock song and into a pop song and into, a classic song. And, is there any kind of music you have yet to try that you're a little curious about?
Country. I would love to go down to Nashville. I've never been to Nashville and
Oh,
write.
beautiful place.
Yeah, because they have such a crazy way of writing songs. It's
Yeah.
very. I'm sure it's
Community.
Yeah, it's more pop down there now, but yeah, I would love to experience that.
Again, put it on the vision board. You never know what's going to happen. Heck, it's been a crazy couple of years. Anything is possible. That is for sure. But here we are tonight, enjoying our Jam Happy Hour to benefit the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. So if you are enjoying, please just like and click and heart. And while you're clicking and liking and doing all the things, make sure you're following Baker Grace on all of her accounts, because it's just a great way to stay connected for when, new stuff comes out, or when you want to go back and like relive this or just get to know her a little bit better. You can definitely tell, like, it's not the algorithm, it's the artist, and she is there to connect with you and connect with us this evening, and we really do appreciate that. Now, I had read in your bio that you have very vivid memories of listening to music on long road trips as a kid. Where
Yeah.
were you guys going?
To Canada a lot. So those were 7 hours, 8 hours. And then to my lake house, I had a lake house in Pennsylvania. So that was 2 hours there and back. So I think those were the main two. But yeah, I have a really hard time sitting still. So I'm always very calm in places where I'm moving, but I'm still. So the car is like a great example, or writing
Airplane.
or singing is a great example of that. So it just shuts off my brain a little bit, I think.
I think it's almost like a rite of passage too, like as a kid, to be in the back seat with mom or dad or both, or however, and being influenced by their music and what they're listening to while you are just so mentally like bored, sitting still with siblings or with not. And I have a very vivid memory of hearing Don Henley's "The Boys of Summer" in one of these long extended 12-hour road trips with my parents. So I definitely I gravitated to that, that comment and that story. I think it's just like one of those things that will always imprint on you. And now these days, people can be listening to your music on these road trips. And how does that kind of full circle moment kind of feel?
Yeah, everybody comment their favorite road trip song if you have one, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mine is, with my family, it was the Dixie Chicks version of Landslide. We used to like 4-part harmony to that.
Yeah, of course you did. Being in a musical house, that's a great version of that song.
Yeah.
I would have to go with, the Don Henley's going to stick with me on that one, because I was ironically in my dad's Cadillac. So the line just, it worked in the backseat of dad's Cadillac or whatever. So yes, comment along and put your songs down, because we can make the ultimate road trip playlist after this if we wanted to. But I do want to dive into some more music before we lose our time. We've got some time. We got about 15 minutes left. What would you like to play for us next, Baker?
I'm gonna take a sip of water. And also,
Please
I'm sorry,
do.
I never
You do
answered
that. I'm
your
going to talk about
question.
Sweet
Okay.
Relief. So the reason why we are here to enjoy and get to know Baker a little bit better is to raise funds for Sweet Relief. And it is a fund that is based to help out musicians, artists, people that work in the industry. It was around before COVID, but certainly became more so necessary when there were no live shows to help with the industry. So if you enjoy live music and you enjoy getting to know artistry a little bit better, then please feel free to donate. You can learn more by clicking the link below. You can donate simply by texting or clicking and liking and sharing and dropping your favorite emoji or road trip song. And please continue to do so as we enjoy more of Baker Grace this evening.
Yeah, this song is called Pressure. And yeah, it's just about like letting yourself free of the shame of making mistakes, because we all make them and it's how we learn. So
Good point. Thank you, Baker.
I left my front door wide open for 48 hours. I spent way too much on one glass of wine. I always set the fire alarm off when taking showers. Feel like I fail everything I try. Every moment's make or break it. Sometimes it's just too much to take in. It's not my fault I'm under pressure. I do my best just to get by. It's hard to handle all the pressure. No wonder why I lose my mind. I'm bad at showing people that I love them when I love them, but I've been working on it. When I wake up in the morning to a chorus of the voices screaming loudly in my head, questioning my whole existence. Well, maybe I just shouldn't listen. It's not my fault I'm under pressure. I do my best just to get by. It's hard to handle all the pressure. No wonder why I lose my mind. I think I'm done living in hell. It doesn't suit me very well. I think I'd rather love myself. I think I'm done living in hell. It doesn't suit me very well. I think I'd rather love myself. It's not my fault I'm under pressure. I do my best just to get by, but it's hard to handle all the pressure. No wonder why I lose my mind. Oh my mind.
Greg is donating.
Oh, I was like, okay, thank you.
I know, totally. I know that a lot of people are feeling the pressure, and you being so open about your struggles with anxiety and depression, mine as well. I'd be hard pressed to meet anybody who's not dealing with something these days. But when you see artists like Shawn Mendes, just canceled his entire tour. He's like, I went and did a couple shows. I'm not ready. I can't do this. Halsey's been really vocal here as of lately, and other artists as well. I think personally, seeing the conversations happen, I think is so important. And probably doing a lot of good for people that maybe feel like they're kind of in it alone. Where your music comes in, you're very much giving the sense of, hey, I'm going through this too, but everything's going to be okay. And you can tell that's very deliberate because, like you said, you're empathetic, and knowing that you are bringing joy and positivity to fans of your music, that has to be a very good feeling for you on your bad days as well.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I can bring as much positivity as possible. I think it's like it's a hard question. Sometimes it's like, is my brain messed up or is the world messed up or are both of them messed up?
I go with both on a daily basis.
Me too. I'm like, probably both.
Yeah, why not?
But I think it's good to know that it's normal. Like no one teaches you how to be happy. I remember I looked up when I was like 18 years old. I typed into my computer like how to be happy, and like the Dalai Lama popped up. But
Aw, bless
but it
his
was
heart.
like my first introduction to like, oh, it's like something you have to work towards. Like you don't just get to like love life. That's not how it works. Why did I think it worked that way? And there was something wrong with me if I wasn't happy all the time. And I think like just letting people know that that's okay can really like make a big impact, you know?
For sure. Having the conversations or just saying, hey, me too, you're not alone. I feel this way as well. And the beauty of music is that it can cross, like you said, cultural boundaries, language boundaries. Like you can feel the message in a song, whether you know where it's coming from or even if you know the language or not. So I think, you putting that out into the world is a beautiful thing. And now here we are. I mean, that song came out this year. We are well past the halfway point of 2022. Like, what are your plans kind of moving forward? How are you going to keep going with this momentum and this message?
So I feel like I left a team last year, started with like a completely new team, and it kind of took until now to really get settled. But I also like during the pandemic, I taught myself how to do a lot of things, like produce, play the piano for myself, and I really figured out like who I am as an artist. And I feel like I haven't 100% been able to put that out there yet. So we've been like finding the right producers and writers who are going to help really bring that to life. And I feel like we're really on to something. So I'm really excited to release this new music. Yeah. So I want to release singles like September, October, November, December, and then in the new year release an EP. That's the plan.
That's an exciting plan. That's an exciting place to be, honestly. Like just like mentally and emotionally to have that excitement and feel like you're in the right place for right now. That's a powerful thing. So I look forward to see what's coming out. We are quickly approaching the end of the hour, and I'm going to shut up so you can perform one more song for us because I'm absolutely entranced in what you're putting out there for us. So what is going to be your final song this evening?
So speaking of new music, this song's actually unreleased, and it's called Paradise. And I feel like I'm finally at a place in my life where I can find peace, not all the time, but I know what it feels like to be happy. And that's kind of what this song is about. So
Look forward to hearing it.
do I have a purpose? 'Cause I'm 2 feet deep in searching, and I've dug myself a hole I just can't seem to get out of. Locked inside a prison of a million opinions. People talk before they listen. I don't know who I can count on. Just when I think that I've cleared every hurdle, I'm back where I was, 'cause I'm running in circles. Just when I think there's no more where that came from, I'm back trying to find my way out of the worst. So I'm starting to think that there's no point in thinking about forever. If all we have is now, then this moment is my only endeavor. Oh, I get so frustrated with my imagination. Hard not to be jaded in a world that is so fabricated. But I'm starting to think that there's no point in thinking about forever. I wake up with every morning with an urge to save the world, but but that requires lots of money, and I'm not so good at paperwork. Find it hard to smile in a world that's full of pain. Get shut down when you speak up, get shut down when you say nothing. Why do bad things happen to good people? Karma's not a bitch, no, she's fucking evil. And just when I think there's no more where that came from, I'm back trying to find my way out of the worst. So I'm starting to think that there's no point in thinking about forever. If all we have is now, then this moment is my only endeavor. Oh, I get so frustrated with my imagination. Hard not to be jaded in a world that is so fabricated. But I'm starting to think that there's no point in anything, so let's just cross our hearts and hope not to die before we realize what it means to be alive. Maybe for once, all these tears I cry will build an island of paradise, paradise in my mind. Thank you.
You tell such a great story in that song. If that is even a taste of what's coming next year from you, I'm super excited. The lyrics were fantastic. The storytelling was perfect, and there's like line after line after line where I'm like, yep, yep, yep. I can relate to that too. So thank you, Paradise. What a fantastic song.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. That was my first time performing it for anyone but me, so I'm glad it went well.
No, I loved it. I cannot wait for it to be out into the world, and we're going to follow you on all of your socials at Baker Grace Music. So when it is out there for public consumption, I will definitely be downloading it and playing it on all of my playlists. And this hour has gone by so quickly. It always blows my mind how fast it goes by. Thank you for sharing your music. Thank you for sharing your stories and your talent. And for those of you who are enjoying tonight and maybe just getting to know Baker, please continue to follow her and support her. I think this is a voice that is really important, especially for the times that we're in now. And I look forward to watching your amazing career take off, even more so with this new team and this new energy. It's very exciting.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun. Same, it went by so fast. And thank you to anybody who joined. You can follow me at Baker Grace Music. And I love to talk, so DM me, comment, like, whatever. Yeah, I look forward to sharing my journey with you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for everybody who clicked and liked and donated. And please, after we're done here, you can still grab the link and share it, and we can continue to do that together. And you can share Baker's message as well. So good night. Thank you so much, and cheers. Thank you to everybody. And be good to each other. Thank you so much, Baker.
Thank you. I was going to
Bye.
choose my water.
Cheers to water.